And an important story here tonight as well. The LA County District Attorney's mom targeted and ripped off in a so-called grandparent scam. These sorts of scams cost seniors millions of dollars every year. Now DA Jackie Lacey is working to protect other seniors from losing their money as well. Here's KCAL 9's Cristy Fajardo.
I was surprised at the boldness of the criminal.
LA County District Attorney Jackie Lacey knows just how bold con artists can be. She's been prosecuting them for years.
Just a cold-hearted person.
But even she was surprised con artists would be bold enough to go after her 75-year-old mother.
My mother is not the only victim. You can't tell this story in a group of people these days without somebody saying, hey, that happened to my mother, or that happened to someone that I know. And he didn't give up the story, even when I got on the phone. I told him I was going to call the police. And he kept saying, well, all right, but if you don't wire the money, we're not going to let your nephew go.
It began with an early morning phone call to Lacey's mother, Addie Phillips, in 2012, with a dire message.
I almost had a heart attack.
Presumably from England. The caller identified himself as a police officer and told Phillips her grandson was in jail and she needed to wire $2,000 to get him out.
Please send the money. Nana, tell my Nana, send the money to get me out of this country.
Phillips counted down the seconds until the banks opened and wired the money. In the meantime, Lacey and her sister learned what happened and spoke to their nephew, who was safe in Florida. The con artist had yet to pick up the money, so they stopped the wire transfer. But the crooks didn't let up. Calling Phillips again, even speaking to Lacey herself, who was then the chief deputy DA.
He didn't give up the story, even when I got on the phone.
Did he have a British accent? I'm curious.
Actually, I would have said it was a Brooklyn accent.
Lacey believes Facebook was the reason the con artists were so convincing. Her nephew had posted about his travels in the UK, and he was so close to his grandmother, his pet name for her, Nana, was all over his page.
Scam artists are probably some of our most resourceful people in our community. They do know how to look for information. And there's so much about us that's on the internet. We really don't have as much privacy as we think.
Unsuspecting seniors are often victims of crooks. In fact, Lacey's office estimates 1 in 5 seniors have been the victim of a financial scam.
Seniors have about 70% of the nation's wealth. They are some of the most trusting people.
That's why Lacey is determined to use her office to go after criminals who prey on the elderly.
He told my mother to wire money overseas,
launching a campaign to educate the public, but more importantly, to send a message to criminals and to the victims.
He also told my mother not to tell anyone.
Like her mother, they need to go to police because only jail will stop them from scamming others.
The idea that someone would try to misuse her in that fashion means that we have someone who just has a cold heart.
That's right.
In downtown LA, Cristy Fajardo, KCAL 9 News.